Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As promised, this is a video to guide you all about enrollment in the examination. And before we move further, this is the screenshot of the timetable that is available online, and the website that you can go actually and register yourself and look into this timetable is actually below this. So you can check the video description out, because there are actually students who are trying to register it and they're trying to go to our website and they cannot find the information. So make sure that you're on the right website, and the link is in the video description as well below. And as mentioned in the groups of discussions, you will find it there as well. So briefly discussing about the enrollment process for this examination, we need to always make sure that we understand how this timetable is going to help us. When comparing it with the previous year's cycle, the examinations used to be held twice a month, starting from December to March. So you would have 8 exams in all. The schedule remains almost the same. There's just a delay in the first examination, which is starting on 24th of December. Last year was around 15th of December, so it is now a week delayed. There is no reason why. The authorities obviously would have been working on reforming new guidelines and rules for this year, most likely for streamlining the process and making it easier for everyone, and to have the setup around for the examination, because the examination venue is in just one place, which is in College of Medicine and Health Sciences in Alain. So you have to be physically present at this venue to give the examinations. So probably there are a couple of factors that are affecting that, and this is the best timetable that they have come up with, and this is a timetable that needs to be followed. So looking at the timetable that they have given out, you have 3 columns that are mentioning your details regarding this exam, which is the enrollment start date, enrollment end date, and the examination date. So for example, if you want to appear for the first exam, which is on Sunday on December 24th, the enrollment for that exam starts on December 15th on Friday. So to book the examination for 24th of December, you have to book the examination in between the enrollment period only. So for example, for the first exam, it says December 15th Friday until December 20th Wednesday. So for the 24th exam, you cannot register on 23rd, on 22nd, or 21st. So you have to register between the period of 15 and 20. The take-home message in this time period is that the enrollment will start exactly at 8 a.m. on the date of the enrollment as mentioned. So for example, if it's 15th of December, it will open at 8 a.m. on 15th, and you can start booking your seats then. When you're booking your seats for this examination, you have to make sure that you don't delay your process and go all the way until 20th of December. Because usually seats are first come first served basis based on the number of seats that are available for this examination. For example, say there are 100 seats for students, or 100 students can appear at one exam. So registration or the enrollment has opened up, and it will keep on going until 100 seats are filled up. If it gets filled up in the first 2 days, then the enrollment actually will close for the examination to be held, because they are actually fulfilling the number of seats that are there for the exam. But if it is not, then it will then it will remain open until the end of 20th of December. For example, you have an exam on March 3rd, which is on a Sunday. For this examination, the enrollment starts on February 23rd and ends on February 28th. So any day between that is when you have to enroll for this exam. Now, one thing everyone needs to understand is the difference between enrollment and registration. So registration is just an approval to state that you are eligible to give the exam. The green tab that you see that your profile is approved, this is an indication that you can actually start enrolling for the exams. You don't need to pay anything for registration. It's just putting in your details and making your application visible on the website. The examination fees comes only at the time of enrollment. So when you're enrolling for this examination, be it for any of the 8 examinations listed on the online portal, that is when you have to pay for the exam. And when you go to the tab of paying for this exam, it will be live only on the day of the enrollment. So if you open up the enrollment tab now, it will actually be empty. Same thing for dental and pharmacy. You have 4 examinations which are also held on those 4 particular dates, and they will also be live when it is live on their system on the enrollment period dates only. Now, a few things for IMGs to keep in mind for writing this examination is, first thing, you have to make sure that you have your visa, which is I think basically a tourist visa that you can take to come in and write the examination here. The college or the examination center does not bear responsibility of that, so you need to arrange your travel requirements and travel documents on your own before you come and appear for this examination. Second, always make sure you have an identity document with you. IMGs, you do not have an Emirates ID, so you have to make sure to keep your passports with you all the time. For local graduates who have an Emirates ID, it's better to keep your passport with you. For any reason, they do not accept your Emirates ID. So keeping your passport and Emirates ID are two essential documents. For IMGs, if you don't have an Emirates ID, it's okay. Just keep your passports with you. Third, make sure that you have a printout of your enrollment form when you have already paid for the examination and your enrollment card appears. So make sure you take a printout of that and keep it with you so you can show it to them at the examination entry gate so that they will allow you to come in for the examination. Four, knowing the examination location. The venue for the examination is College of Medicine and Health Sciences University in Al Ain. You will find the Google map on the website itself. So just click the link when you're around in town and just follow the directions and you will reach the examination hall. Important thing to note is when you need to arrive for the examination is based on the email that you will receive from them after you finish your enrollment process. So once you finish the enrollment process, you will receive an email from them stating that your examination is going to be held on this date at this time and you have to appear for that. Number 5, make sure to carry a water bottle with you during your examination session so that you don't need to get up from your chair because you'll be under a proctor monitor when you're doing the examination. You would be allowed to take a break in between to use the restrooms, but depending upon the invigilator request and how they plan it. But make sure that you carry something for yourself and you keep it with you so that you are not disturbed in a state when you are under pressure giving the examination. Number 6, make sure that you know the travel route a day prior and you make your travel arrangements in such a way that you arrive at least half an hour before the arrival time, so you can make sure that you are settled in, not in a rush, not rushing to find your place or trying to get your documents scanned and stuff or verified, because that will actually create a state of stress. So make sure you arrive at least 15 to 25 minutes prior so that you are on the safe side and you get to see the other candidates around, just have a chit chat with them and see if everything that you brought in as papers is correct, and if the venue for this examination is around and you have not landed in the wrong place. Another query of concern for a few candidates out there was the examination and the application process. So EMREE examination schedule is independent on its own and it has nothing to do with the application process. The application process is a different process and it carries on in a different setup. What happens is the applications open up at mid-February around, and each health authority will have its own dates and it will be organized in that manner. Giving your examination in December, Jan, Feb does not have a priority of you giving the examinations towards end of Feb or March. The applications open in Feb will remain open until end of March. So there is no first come served basis on the applications. All right. Even if you're giving the last examination according to the schedule, which is March 24, your results will be given out in a week's time. So most likely maybe 27, 28 or 29th of March, you receive your results. You can upload the scores and continue with the application. Now, one thing to bear in mind for students giving their examinations towards the end is to make sure that when the application opens up in Feb, just log in and see what are the things they are requiring you to complete on the application. Now, the reason about this is so that you can have your documents ready and you can have everything that you need in an application sorted out before itself. Because if you're completing the examination end of March, you are not going to have time for doing your primary source verification, data flow process, attestation and stuff. So you need to make sure that you complete this beforehand. Because if you start that process after you give the examination, you basically or technically have no time to give it anymore. So make sure that you keep these processes done before. For people giving the examination in December and Jan, it's all right because by the time the applications open up, you have a month or two seeing the documents and everything. You can plan yourself and finish it at least by the end of Feb or even mid-March, depending upon how long it takes your documents to be arranged. Application processes usually do not take time. Okay, if you have the required documents, it is hardly a 5 to 10 minute procedure. You just fill in the documents, fill in the application form, submit it, pay the fees, it's done. So it's as simple as that. The idea of you looking at the applications in February is to make sure that you have all the documents with you. And for example, if you're uploading a document and it's not getting accepted, then you know the reason why. Maybe the attestation is not correct, maybe the file size is different, stuff like that. This reminds me of one more query of people that usually ask me, is that is EMREE recognized in this country? Is EMREE recognized in some other country? Similar to how USMLE is an examination for US residency process, EMREE is an examination for UAE residency process. So the EMREE examination course is valid within the country, which is UAE itself. Now, there are certain exceptions and advantages for the examination, which is other than the residency process, that can help you for the GP pathway as well. Now, the pathway that it can help you is, if you're an IMG, you need to fulfill all their requirements apart from the licensing exam. So EMREE will just be a replacement for the licensing exam, that you do not need to reappear for it, and you can use these scores there. But look at all the health authorities' procedures of what all documents they require for you to get a GP pathway or a GP license, and follow that. EMREE will just replace the GP licensing examination score. Similarly, if it is for any other pathway for getting jobs in UAE, you can appear for the EMREE examination, even if you are not looking for a residency process in future. Because the technical advantage of this is, if you are trying to apply for a GP pathway or a GP position in Dubai, you need to give the health authority exam in Dubai. If it's in Abu Dhabi, you need to give the health authority exam in Abu Dhabi. And if it is Sharjah and the other Emirates, you need to give it, for the health authority in Sharjah. So instead of you giving 2 or 3 different examinations, this is a cumulative process where you actually give one exam, you get the minimum score requirement that you can apply for all of these, and you can actually apply for getting GP jobs all across the country rather than just one focused place, which will be possible with the health authority exam, and EMREE will actually override that and give you more advantage. And finally, it is a note for all candidates appearing for the EMREE exam, be it a local graduate, be it a non-local graduate, be it an IMG. The EMREE examination is not an obligation to be given in a specific time. Now, people who are in their final year medical school can give this exam as an advantage of their learning process, that they have got a lot of information from medical school, they're very good at it, they can give it now. But it's not an obligation, you don't need to give it then. People who give it during internship, I feel it's the best time, because you actually avoid a gap here. Because you're doing internship, the process of residency is going to take an entire year, with the interviews, with the matching process and everything. It's going to take a year. So in between, the only thing you're doing is you're studying, coming, giving the exams, going back, preparing for interviews, and coming and giving that while keeping your internship year running. So if you get matched, so you complete your internship year, and then you match into residency, and you have no gap year, and you continue with that. Now, for students who feel that they are not ready for this examination, do not go for it. Take a step back, reevaluate yourself. It is better than giving it in the next cycle and getting a good score and getting more chance into securing a spot into getting into residency, rather than getting a low score and spoiling your chances to get into residency at all. Because it's controversial to say that if you cleared residency examination now, they will actually look at your application for interviews in the next cycle. So you want to give a best attempt. If you feel that you're not ready now, give it a break, stop it. Maybe you can take more time in studying, because after your internship is over, you can actually prepare for a couple of months more and then give the exam for the next cycle. In between, you can work on your CVs, go for clinical attachments, try to find observership jobs and stuff, and then you can enhance your application in such a way. So if you feel you're not prepared, no obligation, do not rush it. You don't want to spoil your chances in a future successful career just on minimizing it on day one. And lastly, do not register for this examination if you're not ready, because there are no refunds for the examination once you're enrolled. So for example, you're giving a February examination attempt, you found out that the enrollment starts today, you're giving the enrollment, and then you realize, oh, I'm not prepared. So don't go ahead, because if you enroll for this exam and you do not appear, it's a loss on you. It will actually show that you did not appear for this examination. Now that's a second question, that will that be counted as a low score, or will that be counted as a null or something? But again, you are registering for something and not appearing itself shows a negative remark. So do not register until you feel that you will be ready for this examination attempt. And the way that you're making sure that you can be ready for this examination is by successfully completing past papers, trying to make sure you understand the pattern of questions that's arising. Obviously, it's unimaginable to think what 5 years of medical school is teaching you and what is going to come in the exam. But at least you get a clear idea, okay, I'm studying this, probably, you know, I'm there, I can critically think, I can solve questions. Even though if I don't know, I can, you know, get into a conclusion for the answer. If you feel that you have these attributes in you by solving papers, by reading out material, then go ahead for this examination. Finally, before I end this, we will be holding the live session soon. It's been delayed because the schedule was delayed earlier. But yes, before the first examination is live, we will be having a panel of us coming live on Instagram, and to solving your last minute queries, and to making sure that you guys are ready for the examination. So stay tuned for that. Join the broadcast channel if you're not there, because the updates will be mentioned there, and we will see you soon. All the best for the exam.